All right, what is up, guys? It is Nick back with another YouTube video. We're starting a new series here. We're gonna start doing some stock I'm just gonna talk about stocks that I look at, and if you guys want me to deep dive on some other stocks, this is I'm gonna start with ones that I invest in, ones that I kind of look into that I understand pretty well. I guess I'm just gonna kind of cover if I say if I think you should buy it, if you should hold it, kind of just my opinion on it, but also I'm going to break down some of these stocks. You'll see we're going to talk about EPD here. This stock is a little confusing, and I feel like there's no good YouTube videos kind of describing how this stock actually works. So that's why I wanted to start with this video. If you guys know what EPD is, it's Enterprise Products Partners. This is an LP. So when you buy this stock, they have a really high dividend yield. I think it's at like 6%. It comes out to, I think, 55 cents per share per quarter, which is like $2 per year. Um, it's over $2 per year. The dividend yield is, oh, we're not, yeah, 6.1%. Look at that. So, yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good dividend yield. But, anyways, looking at it for the year, it started at like 31, 32, and it's at 38 right now. It almost hit 40. I was buying it on the way up, and I also bought a few more shares in this little dip right here. But I want to talk about it. So EPD, basically, I'm gonna go into here. I just have some slides for you guys. EPD is a limited partner, so the dividends you earn, you aren't taxed on. You get a K1 form every single year for EPD, and it keeps track of your cost basis, basically. So the confusing part is that I didn't even understand at first, and I did a huge deep dive trying to figure out how it works. But basically, cost basis is when you buy shares. So let's say this is what we're going to use for the example of the whole video. $1,000. You buy 100 shares at $10, right? For $1,000. And then you sell them at $15. So you make $500. So that's your taxable income. Pretty simple on that. But that's not how EPD works completely. So what happens is they break it into lots, is what they call. So let's say you invest $1,000 here, right? And that's all you invest. You earn a 6% dividend for simple math here, right? You're going to get a $6 dividend within, actually, it's going to be like divided into, oh gosh, divided into four. So it's going to be like, oh, what's 6 divided by 4? Hold on, I'm going to do the math here. Um, gosh, one and a half. One and a half. You're gonna get $1.50. That's gonna be lot two. And then you're gonna get lot three. And then it's gonna be another $1.50. So basically all these lots, every time like you get dividends or you buy shares, it creates a new lot. So for this $1,000, you're gonna after 1 year, you're gonna get $6, 6% dividend, which is $6. So that's gonna go down. Your cost basis for that is gonna go down to $994. So this cost basis, when you buy more shares or reinvest shares, you're not adding to your cost basis. It just creates a new cost basis. So this $1,000 will hit zero after 16 years. And then at that point, that's when you start getting taxed on your dividends. And it's see it's I looked it up and it's still not even like completely straightforward. It's a mix between long-term capital gains and ordinary income. And I could not I looked it up everywhere. It doesn't specifically say what percent of what you make is taxed. Like if you make $100 in dividends or whatever, it doesn't say, oh, like it's 50-50. It says it depends, which is kind of sketchy, but it's not a straightforward answer. And ordinary income, obviously, it depends on how much money you make, is the tax rate at which you'll be taxed at. But for long-term capital gains, it's generally the same as, oh my gosh, long-term capital gains is just straight up as long-term capital gains. But for like this $1.50, this one is going to then earn dividends. So like, oh my gosh, over a year you have $1.50 times 0.06. It's like 9, is that 9 cents? It's 9 cents. So then like, so what is that? 150 divided by 9 cents. I'm just going to make sure. Yeah. So it's like basically, okay, for every new lot created, it's going to take 16 years to hit zero. It's going to be the same for everything. So this one will take 16 years, 9 cents at a time, minus 9 cents every single time. And eventually, after 16 years, this will hit zero and then you start getting taxed on it. But you're going to have literally by the time, if you invest consistently and reinvest your dividends and everything, it's going to create all of these lots and they're all going to start their cost basis wearing down to zero. So after 16 years. So for me, I don't really know what my lots are, but when you get that K1 form and fill it out, EPD is essentially keeping track of all that for you. So only thing you really need to know is like when you buy it, and it's like 16.67 years. So 16 and 2/3 of a year is when you'll start getting taxed on that. But the point that people don't really know is, okay, why would you want to go with an LP compared to a normal dividend stock? When you have a normal stock like SCHD or Reality Income or any of these other dividend stocks, let's say, for example, a good example is UPS. They have like a 6% dividend rate right now. Same with EPD. So it's a pretty good example. When you pay tax on that UPS dividend yield every single year, let's say you make that $6, you're taxed as capital gains on that. And then instead of having $6 to reinvest, you might reinvest all that $6, but at the end of the year you do have to pay tax. So it's like, you're really not. But that money that you are taxed on right now, this year, at the end of the year, doesn't have 16 years to grow into more and earn more dividends. So over that 16 years, when your taxes are deferred, I should skip to this tab, are deferred on being taxed, it has time to grow so that during that time, that money will essentially become a lot more than what it would be when you're taxed every single year, if that makes sense. EPD, it just defers the tax for 16 years, so it has that time to grow. But when that time hits and you are taxed after the 16 years, you do have a higher tax rate. It is not 100% clear, but it is going to be more. It could be anywhere from like 20 to like 40%. I think if you're in a higher tax bracket, it could be up to like 50%, which sounds scary. But when you are deferred and not paid any taxes for 16 years, it is well worth it. I did a little math here. So with that $1,000, if that $1,000 is like grown and dividends are reinvested, it'll be worth like $2,200, right? Because every single year you're paying about $14 in tax per year, which is very conservative because I had ChatGPT do this math, and he said that he couldn't include the tax on the dividends because if the dividends grow, if the dividend growth rate grows, and then he also did a conservative like 6% growth rate for both of these examples here, but he didn't do the tax on the dividend. So it technically would be more than $14 per year. And then looking at the deferred tax this is like if you buy a stock and pay tax every year. This one is through EPD, the deferred tax. After 16 years, you pay zero tax, but then after that, you're paying about 23 per year. So it's not super scary, and that 2,500 grows to a little bit more. See, it's about $300 more. But then, yes, you are going to be paying more tax, but that's after 16 years, after this money is grown. So like, let's say, for example, instead of like, I don't know, $1,000, you had $10,000. So this would be 22, this would be 25. So it's like $3,000. And obviously like $100,000, it becomes, oh gosh, this math is 254, $30,000. So it's like, obviously, like, we're just using really small numbers here, but you could see the big difference that it has when you have a lot more invested. So I think that's going to be kind of it. That's all I wanted to break down was just the math behind it. For me, would I invest in EPD? Yes, because I have it. I'm invested in it. I do highly encourage you guys to understand the stock before buying it. I didn't fully understand it before buying it. I thought I did, but the video I watched was not as helpful as I thought, and it was very surface level. So hopefully this helps you guys understand the stock a little bit. And yeah, if you guys have any other questions or anything, please feel free to comment down below. It has been doing really well this year. Okay, if you're watching this video when it comes out, they report earnings on the 31st, July 31st. They already went up, I think, because people know that they're going to report good earnings and they get paid dividends because the last day to get to buy the stock to get dividends for this quarter is the 31st. But I think when is EP? Is it the day before? Oh my gosh, I can't type. I think it's the July 30th, which is also the I think the expiration date, July 31st is the expiration date for getting dividends. So the 30th they report earnings, 31st is the expiration date for the dividends. So they're already kind of going up. Honestly, this was a good time to buy when it was at 36 because I think it will for sure have a good support at this 38 level. Again, guys, I'm not professional at reading taxes. This is just me stocks. You look at it, it just looks like this is a good support at this 38. Hopefully, I don't know, and especially if they report good earnings, I don't know if they'll hit 40, but yeah, it's definitely a good buy right now. I mean, it's kind of high, but if you don't have it, maybe buy a couple shares and see. But yeah, I was buying it mostly at 30, 32, 30, 32. I bought some here. But again, guys, the dividends are amazing and keep them reinvested and just turn that drip on and you guys will be set. It is a little more confusing for regular stocks, but it is a bit more beneficial when investing long term. The biggest thing too that people like the thing that I felt right away was I thought it was kind of a trap with so let's say I invest a lot of money over tons of years of EPD, like 30, 40 years, whatever. When I die, my cost basis, so I built up all these cost bases, and when I die, all of those would reset if those shares were handed down to like my kids or something or whoever gets my shares, my stocks, whatever. All those the cost basis of all that is completely reset. So what that means is with my like if I have, let's say, $1 million invested, right, and I'm getting 6% in dividends every year, which is oh my gosh, is it 6 or 60? Yeah, I'm so tired afterward. I think it's $60,000. I'm just double checking the math because $60,000, $60,000 every year, right? And I have my cost basis is dwindling down. It's like all of it is added up, and my cost basis is like 300,000, and I'm taking out and living off my income of my dividends, right? I'll have 5 years to spend that. Let's say it gets really, really close. Let's say I'm on that last year and there's only $60,000 left in my cost basis and I die. Boom, dead. Go to my kids, all the shares. So $1 million, it just resets up to $1 million. So they can use that full cost basis. They don't have that 60,000 where they start paying that higher tax. They completely reset. So obviously $1 million isn't like crazy, but like long term for retirement and everything, especially like if I have these shares till I'm dead, hopefully, I don't know, hopefully, but like if I at a minimum live to 75, that's 50 more years of compounding growth. Obviously, at some point I'll start having to pay tax, but it's like it should grow to like millions and millions of dollars. And if I were to die and it resets, then your kids are set up for life. And then when they die and they hand it down, it's still reset. So it is like one of those generational kind of stocks, but don't get scared into thinking that if you buy it, you have to keep it forever. If you do keep it as a short-term stock, I mean, you're gonna have to pay like the tax and everything on it. But it's not the end of the world if you do have it long term and do have to start paying tax. It's not like it's gonna screw you over. But again, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and comment what stocks you guys want to see next. And that's gonna be it. See you in the next video. Peace.